Hello and welcome to Slow English Podcast. My name is Emilie, and I'm very happy to have you with me today. In today's episode, we will learn how to speak English when you are looking for a rental apartment. Whether you are moving to a new city, traveling for a while, or just looking for a new place to live, this episode will help you feel more comfortable when speaking English about rental apartments. Part 1, Common Words Related to Renting an Apartment. Let's start by learning some important words related to rental apartments. I will say each word slowly, and you can repeat after me. Apartment, a place where you live, usually in a building with other apartments. Rent, the amount of money you pay every month to live in an apartment. Lease, a contract that says you will rent the apartment for a certain time. Landlord, landlady, the person who owns the apartment and rents it to you. Tenant, the person who rents the apartment. Deposit, money you pay in advance when you rent an apartment, often to cover damages. Utilities, the services you pay for, like water, electricity, and gas. Furnished, an apartment that has furniture. Unfurnished, an apartment that does not have furniture. Location, where the apartment is located. Neighborhood, the area around the apartment. Renting period, the length of time you plan to rent the apartment. Part 2, useful phrases when looking for an apartment. Now let's practice some useful phrases you can use when talking about renting an apartment. I will say each phrase twice. Listen carefully and repeat after me. I'm looking for an apartment to rent. What is the rent for this apartment? How many bedrooms does the apartment have? Is the apartment furnished or unfurnished? Are utilities included in the rent? How long is the lease? Can I see the apartment? Is there a deposit required? When is the apartment available? Can I pay the rent monthly? What is the neighborhood like? Are pets allowed in the apartment? Is parking available? Part 3, describing what you want in an apartment. Let's talk about how to describe the kind of apartment you want. I will give you some sentences to practice. I want a 1-bedroom apartment. I need an apartment close to my work. I would like an apartment with a balcony. I'm looking for a quiet apartment. I prefer an apartment with a parking space. I need an apartment that is close to public transportation. I want a modern apartment. I'm looking for a place in a safe neighborhood. You can practice these sentences and use them to describe the apartment you want. Part 4. Questions you can ask about an apartment. It's important to know what questions to ask when you are looking at an apartment. Here are some questions you might ask the landlord or agent. How much is the rent per month? Is there a deposit? How much is it? How long is the lease? Are utilities included in the rent? Is there a parking space? Is the apartment close to shops or public transport? Can I bring a pet? What is the neighborhood like? How many people can live in the apartment? Are there any additional fees? What is the process for signing the lease? Can I see the apartment today? Part 5. Common situations when looking for an apartment. Let's now talk about some situations you might experience when looking for an apartment. I will describe each situation and give you sentences that you can use. Arriving at the apartment. You arrive at the apartment and you want to look around. Hello, I'm here to see the apartment. Can I take a look at the apartment now? How many floors does the building have? Asking about the rent. You want to know how much the rent is. What is the rent for this apartment? Does the rent include utilities? How much is the deposit? Asking about the lease. You want to know about the lease. How long is the lease? When does the lease start? Is the lease flexible? Asking about the neighborhood. You want to know more about the area where the apartment is located. What is the neighborhood like? Are there shops or restaurants near here? Is it safe to walk around at night? Making a decision. You have decided you like the apartment and want to move forward. I'm interested in renting this apartment. Can we go over the lease agreement? When can I sign the lease? Part 6, Common Problems when Renting an Apartment. Sometimes there can be problems when renting an apartment. Let's look at some common problems and how to talk about them. The apartment is too expensive for me. There is a problem with the plumbing. The heating doesn't work. The apartment is too far from work or school. There is too much noise in the neighborhood. I don't like the color of the walls. The apartment doesn't have enough storage space. Great job! Let's review everything we've learned today. Important words: rent, lease, landlord, tenant, deposit, utilities, furnished, unfurnished, location, neighborhood, renting period. Useful phrases: I'm looking for an apartment to rent. How much is the rent? Is the apartment furnished? Describing what you want. I want a 1-bedroom apartment. I need an apartment close to my work. Questions to ask. How much is the rent? Is there a deposit? How long is the lease? Common situations. Arriving at the apartment, asking about rent, asking about the lease, asking about the neighborhood. Common problems. The apartment is too expensive. The heating doesn't work. Now try to practice these sentences. Imagine you are talking to a landlord or agent and asking about an apartment. You can listen to this episode again to improve your pronunciation and confidence. Thank you for listening to Slow English Podcast. See you next time.